A few months ago, I read a book called A Million Miles in a Thousand Years by Donald Miller. Miller is an amazing storyteller. But what he learns, however, is that although he can write good stories, he wasn't actually living a good story. In one scene, he listens to a friend share about his 13-year-old daughter and how she was not living a good story. He says he thought about the story his daughter was living and the role she was playing inside that story. And he realized he hadn't provided a better role for his daughter. He hadn't mapped out a story for his family, and so his daughter had chosen another story. Well, as the father of a middle school girl, this was so convicting for me. I thought about how challenging life can be for middle school girls, and how challenging it has been for Maya, and how sometimes it feels like the plateau is the whole world, like that's all there is. So this got me thinking. Maya is in 8th grade. She's going to high school next year. Had I provided a good role for her? Was she living a good story? And was I a part of it? When I saw the announcement about the Africa trip, it couldn't have been more obvious that this was the story God was calling her and me to. Even then, I tried to say no. It was too much, or too hard, or too long. But every time I said no, God would ask, "Do you really believe I can write a better story than you can? And if so, why don't you trust me?" So I decided to trust him. There were moments each day that were answers to prayer. In South Africa, the adults watched in wonder as our SBC students poured their hearts into the kids of Citrusdal, holding, laughing with, and playing with the preschoolers at a daycare, helping lead a soccer clinic at a local school for 201 soccer-crazed elementary students, and serving food to kids at a soup kitchen. It was awesome. This was the role the parents on the trip were longing for our kids, and God kept writing a better script every day that we were there. And while all this was incredible, the most life-changing part for Maya was at Hebron, spending time with Missy and Lori and Neil and Jenny and the rest of the staff. They were living witnesses to her about how God is the ultimate storyteller if you let him be. Not to mention that Maya and I spent some really cool time together. Well, Maya and I are different now. We are trying to live a new story, one written by God. And we want more of them. As Miller poignantly writes, once you live a good story, you get a taste for a kind of meaning in life. And you can't go back to being normal. You can't go back to meaningless scenes stitched together by the forgettable thread of wasted time. If Maya could move to Hebron right now, she would. Well, this is not only my story now, but all of us on the trip, as well as the people we met along the way. We all share the same story. We're all characters that have changed. And isn't that the point of a good story? And that's pretty cool. I love you, Maya.